Hello there, my beautiful little cherubs of the internet. Today we're going to be reviewing A Plague Tale: Innocence. Ooh, doesn't that sound just fun as heck? It's a game about nature and family and puppy dogs and eating apples from a tree. Doesn't that just sound like a spectacular, fun-loving time? I lied, I fibbed. This game literally kills your dog in the first, 10 minutes of the game. That's not even a spoiler. Then it smacks you with this title screen that's just like, hey, we're gonna psychologically torment you. So I hope you guys are ready for this one. The premise of this game is you play as a sort of princess named Amicia, who's in charge of taking care of her little brother Hugo. Hugo has a health problem, so he's kind of a liability. And these are plague times, keep in mind. You got dark knights running around on horses just trying to kill you for no real reason. You got rats in the streets. It's just kind of madness. So to survive, what do you use? Stealth. Stealth is your #1 tool for survival in this game. About 50% of this game is composed of stealth sections. You're going to have 1 to 2 allies, sometimes more, sometimes less, and they'll either help you or actually hurt you based on the scenario. It's a very unique mechanic. Speaking of mechanics, you got your generic stealth mechanics such as audio distractions in the form of pots, and more complex ones as the game goes on. If you get caught, it's game over. Now, to make the game paced a little better, you have chase sequences. Chase sequences are really tense, really blood-boiling, just sequences of pure adrenaline. The haptic feedback controller feels like a heartbeat and just makes things that much more tense. So the game's going to follow stealth sequence,
What was that noise?
then chase sequence, and when that gets a little bit played out, you have the new puzzle sequence, where things kind of sit still and you just figure things out. Kind of a cooldown and a nice change of pace. Also, you have some allies that will actually try to help you instead of kill you. It's very far and few in between, like this particular lady, and she introduces to you the crafting system. The crafting system makes your weapons do more damage and actually be more effective as like a fighter. Speaking of fighting, there are boss fights. Not a lot of them. This one shows up very early on and made me think that there was going to be more, but there's really only 3. One of them you can probably already figure out. So, after you kill the first boss, this is the first official kill of the game, where you take somebody's life. And it really just stuck out to me that this game didn't want you to run around like a maniac. It really wanted you to think about what you're doing.
You killed him.
So believe it or not, rats and fire go together in this game like rats and fire do in real life, in which you can burn the hell out of them. So pick up as many sticks as you can, light them on fire, and wave them around like you would deter any real wild animal. However, there's a lot of tension, because if the fire goes out, you're rat food. Fire is used in more complex methods throughout the game, such as traversal and survival, as well as combat tools. Honestly, if this game really isn't your thing, I can't fault you for it. The environments are dingy, and there's just more and more rats, and it's claustrophobic. But you gotta hand it to them. This game is just as beautiful as it is dangerous and gross. For instance, take a look at my Plague Tale: Innocence gallery that I created. Isn't that beautiful? And you can do chandelier kills like in Hitman! As much of a liability as Hugo is, he's also a huge asset. He's small so he can fit into places you can't, and that's not really where he fully shines, but mostly in the emotional connections between characters.
Do you think we are hurting them? I'm scared.
Of what, Hugo?
What's in my head?
Don't worry. We're all scared of what's in our heads.
It's true, it's dangerous out here. But sometimes it's fun too.
I'm not crying, you're crying, okay? We need some comic relief. Here's some pig balls. Just look at the pig balls, let me compose myself and talk about tension one more time. Okay, the yellow aura on the outside of the screen, it appears when you're nearby enemies. It gives you like a proximity to your enemies, and it's just like, it's so simple, but they did it so well. Also, there's plenty of combat in this game if you're like a gun-toting crazy person. It's something for everybody. But here's my main complaint. This brings me to the main part that I really want to talk about. This section right here, this gameplay, was the only section that I felt that I had the ability to choose which path and which tactics I used to get through the environment. The core principles of a stealth game are the freedom to choose and the replayability of the missions. I don't think this game's replayable, sadly. I think it's an awesome game and I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to play it. Not anybody who just likes stealth games, but likes just games in general. It's a masterpiece, it really is, but it's not a stealth game. It is an action-adventure game with stealth elements.
So let's go. To the death. To the death.
So, I bet you're wondering, Alex, what's your official rating for this game? I'd give it an 8, actually. I would give it a perfect 10, honestly, except for that thing we just talked about. The replayability is just not there. So it's kind of a one and done game, but with that said, do the one and done. You won't regret it. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's the Alex. Be blessed, be safe, whatever you want to do. Alright, peace.